Hi, and welcome to How Do You Like Your Coffee? I'm your host, Chris, and continuing our series on going back to school in college. Video number 6. We already talked about where to start and research. We talked about paying for school. We talked about choosing a school. And we talked about, we took a look at the inside of a student portal. Now we are going to talk about how to get some books and other useful materials that you may want to check into getting. First, let's talk about books. Now, the first thing a college is going to recommend is getting books out of their bookstore. Now, some colleges, actually online schools, will include your books in the tuition in the form of ebooks, which works out great because, you know, less tuition. It's pretty good. It works out great for everyone. On the other hand, when you're buying books from a bookstore, you know that you are paying almost double than what you have to. And as a matter of fact, there is some sites that actually really take a good chunk of the money off for you, and you wind up paying much less than you have to. Also, another way to get your books is, say you and a friend, maybe they have taken the course you're taking this semester. You took a course last semester that they're taking this semester, a nice trade-off. That's pretty good. Some schools have trading programs for textbooks. So, you know, check into that. Also, you can go onto sites like Craigslist and stuff like that. Some people are actually selling their books. But also, there's also some websites that offer ebooks, rentals, new, used, and all at a fraction of the cost that you would be paying at the college bookstore. Now, I didn't find this out until maybe probably about a year and a half ago. I was buying books from the bookstore because I figured, well, financial aid's paying for it. But you got to realize that most of the time you're going to be paying financial aid back eventually. So think about the price of the books. And some of these sites, now the biggest site that I like to go to first is Amazon. And that's because Amazon has Student Prime membership, which means you only pay half the cost of the regular price of Prime. Now, Prime gives you, of course, the two-day shipping, and that holds true for some of their books as well, so you can check into that. But I'm going to leave a link in the description to Prime membership and stuff like that. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. Another bookstore that I like to go to, another one that saved me a whole lot of money. I know I paid $4 a piece for books at the college store. I know they were brand new, but not much different buying them used than buying them new. People do take good care of their books. I paid $4 for something that would have cost me about $150 at the college bookstore. So you can see where I saved a lot of money doing that. You also have Barnes & Noble, Aid Books, eBay. Just primarily my suggestion would be, and it's what I used to do, is when I found out that you didn't have to buy your books at the bookstore, is take your ISBN number and search for it. Put it right in your Google search bar, and what will come up is the name of the book, the author, and places where you can buy the book, and you can pretty much choose from there how much you want to pay for, how long it's going to take to ship, and all that good stuff. So with that, I do want to make a point that it's probably a good idea to pay attention to the ISBN number, the edition of the book, and the author, and the title, of course. Those 4 things in mind. And sometimes the edition of the book doesn't make much of a difference. I had said this in one of the other videos that I did before, but what you really should do is talk to your professor. If you cannot get hold of the edition of book that you need, definitely talk to the professor or instructor or whoever you have that's taking care of the course, and they will let you know whether it's okay or not. Because I actually have done the same thing. I couldn't find the edition I needed, and they said, okay, as long as it's not way too far back. I needed edition 6. I wound up with edition 5, and it was fine. And that's only because sometimes there's a foreword or an introduction that maybe you just don't even need, and things like that. Another thing to consider when you're looking into some extra materials that you might need. First of all, it does not hurt to have maybe a notebook, some sort of paper, pens, pencils, highlighters, because sometimes you will find yourself wanting to write something down. There are some courses where you're going to find yourself where you have to go out and interview somebody, or you have to go out and shadow somebody for your course. And it's nice to have your smartphone around to jot these things down, or maybe you can film it. But there are going to be times when confidentiality is involved, and you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to have to do the good old-fashioned pen to paper, pencil to paper, whatever you choose to use. Another thing, a fax service. I pay $10 a month for the fax service I use, and I'll leave a link in the description to that service. But there's also sites that do free fax. One is Fax Zero, link in the description as well. But that limits you. You're limited to, I believe, 5 faxes a day with 3 pages for each fax. I know after a while that might be too limiting. Maybe you going to need a little bit more. Maybe you have a different kind of instruction that you're going through, so you might need a little bit more than that. It's good to probably get into Prime Student, like I said. That's $59 a year. And why I say that is because there's going to be some tools they may ask you to buy, or it depends on what you're taking, what course you're taking. Not only your books, but I found myself having to buy materials. Like for the course I had to take, it was vlogging, video. This course for this I'm doing right now, I had to buy equipment. I had to buy the microphone. I had to buy the tripod or whatever I needed to do that. And I'll tell you, the Prime membership really helped me out. One more thing you might want is a scanner app. Because what I mean by a scanner app is you take a page, because some instructors will say, well, here's your workbook, you're going to take a picture of it and you're going to email it to me. And taking a picture of it is not as good as using a scanner app, because what a scanner app does is it actually not only takes a photo of the page you're looking at, but it also turns it into a readable PDF, which is really nice. It really enhances the image and prints out just as good as a printer or copier, things like that. Now, getting ready to get into our next video, which would be on scheduling and time management. Another useful little thing that you can have. I know you have smartphones, tablets, computers, whatever, and you probably already use the calendar and the scheduling on that. But it is a good idea to have a planner in a form of a book, or something similar to that, because I found that even though I had that and I'm typing it in, I didn't remember it as well as writing it down. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because you remember it better because your brain is working differently when you're writing, but it did come in handy to be able to write it down and things like that. And we'll get into really talking about it when I get into the scheduling and time management video that's coming up next. If you like this video, give me one of these. If you didn't, give me one of these, and then just let me know what it was that you might want to know. Maybe there was some information I left out, and maybe you can put your 2 cents worth in. Maybe you can share what you do to get your books and materials for school. Also, if you like the series, if you like the videos that you are seeing, check out some other videos. I'm going to leave a couple in the card. One right here, one right here. I don't know which ones yet, so, but check them out. If you like it, subscribe, and push the bell icon so you know you will be notified next time I upload. And until next time, keep those pinkies up. Oh, no, yeah, you can keep the pinkies up, but first keep the coffee hot and those pinkies up. I'll be seeing you.